before you went to the woodlands, but it appears that they're glad to be on ground, not dry ground, but ground, and we're glad that they're safe, and glad to you guys, Robert Baker, for...
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Izix. Currently, you see him in the background, and y'all probably hear the news going on, so let me turn that down. For y'all that don't know, I'm from Houston, Texas, so this video is kind of hard to do. I just barely got home a few hours ago. I was kind of trapped in another part of the city. I got stuck actually only like 2 lights away, but couldn't get back to him. So I was stressing out for 2 days. He was here by himself, but he was inside. Hurricane Harvey is currently hitting our city, and it's hitting it pretty hard. They're still saying we're supposed to have about another 15 inches of rain. By the time this is done, they're saying it's very possible that we'll have 50 inches, so that's not out of the question. So yeah, what happened was Saturday evening, my brother came and picked me up. It wasn't raining, it was clear, but he came and picked me up because he has a truck and I drive a car. So if it did rain, I would be able to get back. Watched the game, rain started coming down, and I got stuck. Didn't have my phone charger on me. He didn't have water in his bedroom because his water's outside, but he had food in there, and I hadn't been able to make it back. So it was about 2 days that I couldn't get through, and finally decided I was just gonna see if I couldn't get back in a vehicle, then I would get back wading through the water to get him. He's 8 years old, so that's what I was freaking out about was him. Houston is taking a really, really hard hit, and for people that don't live here and don't understand why people didn't evacuate, we had 2 different people saying 2 different things. Our governor said for us to evacuate. Our mayor said don't. He said sit it out, write it out. The news wasn't reporting that we were going to get this much rain here. They were reporting that we could have as much as 10 to 15 inches. 10 to 15 is nowhere near almost 50 inches. But I guess I understand why the mayor said that, because we've evacuated the city before for hurricanes in the past, and people end up dying or getting stuck on the roadways just trying to get out because our population is so big. So this video isn't really on topic of what our topic is this week, but just so y'all could know what we're dealing with down here. Wasn't even sure I was going to get a video out this week because I was supposed to have a video done Thursday, but we're already dealing with some of the stuff on Thursday. So this wasn't even supposed to hit until this weekend, and it started doing its damage late Thursday, Friday morning for a lot of areas, and we didn't even get the eye, so I could only imagine how Rockport got it because they got the direct hit. If I don't know what type of coverage everybody else is getting on this hurricane that's not in Houston, but basically the hurricane just like went in like this, and right now it's looping back, and then it's coming back up straight into Houston. So we've gotten like 25 inches in like a day and a half. It's raining right now still, and it's gonna keep raining 100% for the next 3 days. On top of that, they opened up some reservoirs. So on top of the flooding that's going on, water's being released and dumped into some of these already flooded areas, or some of these areas that aren't flooded yet are about to be flooded because they opened up the reservoirs into other bayous, or other rivers, I should say. So, yeah. Since I got stuck away from him, I got stuck at my brother's. My mom lives down the street from him, and we went and got their vehicles a higher ground. He didn't really have any help, so I was the one helping him. The water was already coming out. I stopped by her house to use the restroom real quick before we were going to head back to his, and she asked me to stay because she just had back surgery like maybe about 2 months ago. So I told him, I was like, maybe I should stay with her because at least you have people at your house to help you, you know. So I stayed with her, and she didn't really let me sleep during the night because she was just watching the water rise. Her house is 6 feet off the ground. So she woke me up, and I look out the window and I see stuff floating like maybe 2 feet away from her window unit. And I was like, okay, it's time to go. I called her neighbor that happens to have a boat for him to make his way in her yard to get her, and I'd figure my way out because I've dealt with it in the past. Me and my brother have actually like done rescues with the neighbor's boat. The last time that we had flooding like this was back in '01. I was a teenager, but we went and got the elderly out on flat bottom. And I know people say stay out of the water, be safe, but if you're familiar with your area, like we're familiar with that neighborhood because we grew up there, there's really not too much harm with it, but you need to know when to take yourself out of it. Now the water starts pulling you and you feel yourself getting pulled, it's time to get yourself out of that water because that current will sweep you away. And that water gets about right here, like chest wise. That's probably the highest you need to let it go before you have to worry about getting pulled into a current. You don't want to cross the bayou. The bayou will pull you. So yeah, I made sure my mom had everything, packed that up, and got her in the boat. And I had to get into the waters and unlock her gate. She actually has a picture of me, and I'll include that in here, of when I got in the water to go unlock her fence so that we could get the boat in. When we left, the water was probably about 5 feet, so it still wasn't in her house. We made our way back to my brother. Me and my sister-in-law made our way back to my brother today, and I was able to get to my place in his truck. He already knew what streets to zigzag through. And another route here, basically. I'm fortunate enough that this place doesn't take water in, or at least it hasn't. I don't know at the end of the storm if we're gonna get water inside, because it is raining and all the yard and stuff is saturated. Everything around me is flooded, so I can't get out of the neighborhood. But the whole time I was just worried about my dog, so I need to come back. But yeah, right. My brother stayed back, and he was trying to do some rescue efforts in the neighborhood. They were still helping people get in and out of their houses, or like rescuing people that were stuck and didn't know how to get out. If you're out there trying to do rescue, just be safe with it. Do not let yourself get put in a situation where you need rescue yourself. I don't know. I mean, it's just a lot going on right now for our city, and it's not anyone's fault for staying behind. We were told to do that. We were told to get water and food and just ride it out. So that's what a lot of people did do, and media didn't tell us that the storm was going to be this big. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video now, guys, and I'll include some footage from being outside so y'all can see what we've been dealing with here.